THEWHISPERSCKWOODHOUSE. Chapter 1. The Inheritance. James Holloway never believed in ghosts. When his uncle, Richard Holloway, died and left him a gigantic Victorian mansion, Blackwood House, James thought he had hit the jackpot. The house stood on the edge of a dense forest, its towering spires piercing the gray sky like jagged knives. "You're lucky," the lawyer told him, sliding over the deed. "But I should warn you, your uncle was unstable in his last days." "Unstable how?" James asked. The lawyer hesitated. He claimed the house was alive, that it spoke to him. James laughed, and no one thought to get him help. "We tried." The lawyer leaned forward, but he refused to leave. His final words before he died. He lowered his voice. "Tell James the house wants him now." A chill ran through James, but he brushed it off. Superstitions, nothing more. Chapter 2. Moving in. Blackwood House was bigger than James imagined. Dark wood paneling lined the hallways, heavy chandeliers hung from the ceilings, and paintings of long-dead Holloway ancestors stared at him with hollow, watchful eyes. The first night, he explored. The dining room was coated in dust, the kitchen filled with antique utensils. Upstairs, dozens of rooms lay untouched. Then he found the study, his uncle's favorite room. The desk was covered in papers. He picked one up and frowned. "The whispers come at night. They want me to listen." James shook his head. "More nonsense." Then the floor creaked behind him. He spun around, nothing there. A cold wind moved through the room, though the windows were shut. It was just an old house settling. That's what he told himself. But as he left the study, he could have sworn he heard a faint whisper, calling his name. Chapter 3. The Locked Door. For days, James felt like something was watching him. Doors creaked when no one was there. Shadows shifted in the corners of his vision. At night, faint whispers echoed through the halls. But the worst thing was the door at the end of the third-floor hallway. It was locked, deadbolted from the outside. His uncle's lawyer hadn't mentioned it, but James could feel something wrong behind it. One night, curiosity won. He grabbed a crowbar and forced it open. A wave of stench hit him: rot, sweat, something metallic. Inside was a single wooden chair facing the wall. Deep scratches covered the floorboards, and on the wall, scrawled in something dark and dried, were the words DONOTLATITOUT. A deep, guttural breath exhaled behind him. James ran. Chapter 4. The Thing in the Dark. That night, James barely slept. The whispers were louder. "We see you. We hear you. You let it out." At 3 a.m., something banged against the bedroom door. James sat up, heart pounding. Silence, then scratching. Slow, deliberate, just on the other side of the door. He grabbed his phone, turned on the flashlight, and stepped out. The hallway was empty, but the floor was wet, sticky. A dark red trail led from the broken door of the locked room, down the stairs. James followed it. In the living room, something stood in the darkness. It was tall, too tall. Its limbs were too long, its head tilted unnaturally. Its eyes were holes, empty, black, endless. It grinned. James turned and ran. Chapter 5. Trapped. The front door wouldn't open. The windows wouldn't break. The house wouldn't let him leave. All night, the whispers grew. The thing in the shadows watched him from the hallways, from the ceilings, from just beyond the light. It didn't move. It didn't need to. By dawn, James was exhausted. His phone was dead. He hadn't eaten. Then he saw something new. A message scratched into the wooden floor. USETHEMIRROR. James ran to the study. There was an old, tall mirror against the wall. He grabbed it, dragged it to the hallway. He turned it toward the creature. The moment the reflection caught it, the thing screamed. A horrible, shrieking howl that shattered the air. Its body contorted, bones cracking as it was sucked into the mirror, vanishing with a final guttural growl. Then silence. The whispers stopped. The front door unlocked. James collapsed. Chapter 6. The Final Warning. The next day, James left Blackwood House forever. He handed the keys to a real estate agent, told them to sell it, burn it, anything. The agent raised an eyebrow. "There's one problem," he said. "We had the house appraised years ago." James frowned, and the agent handed him an old report. "Blackwood House has no third floor." James' blood ran cold. "No," he said. I lived there. I saw it." The agent shook his head. "The house has 2 floors. That's it." James didn't argue. He just left. He moved to another city. Never spoke about it again. But some nights, when he looks in the mirror, he sees something behind him, grinning, waiting. And sometimes, just before he turns away, he hears a whisper, "We found you."